Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Coffee Shop Thursday, the Thursday before Christmas. Grab your mug. I got my penguin mug. You know what I thought we would do today? We'd sit around drinking our coffee, talking, and zeroing in on what our favorite Old Testament lesson is for Christmas. What is the one that really brings it to life for you? And there's a bunch of them. There's some good ones, and we've read some of them during this Advent season too. But what's your favorite one? I'm going to tell you what my favorite one is. In fact, I'm going to read it right now. It's from Isaiah, the 9th chapter, verses 2 through 7. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who lived in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined. You have multiplied the nation. You have increased its joy. They rejoice before you as with joy at the harvest, as people exult when dividing plunder. For the yoke of their burden and the bar across their shoulders, the rod of their oppressor, you have broken as on the day of Midian. For all the boots of the trampling warriors and all the garments rolled in blood shall be burned as fuel for the fire. For a child has been born for us, a son given to us. Authority rests upon his shoulders, and he is named Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. His authority shall grow continually, and there shall be endless peace for the throne of David and his kingdom. He will establish and uphold it with justice and with righteousness from this time onward and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will do this. What an incredible reading from the prophet Isaiah. But I think it's pretty important that we all, as we're sitting here and looking at this and thinking of our own favorite passages, to realize the historical context that this was first spoken in. This was spoken in a time of fear, of panic almost. I mean, the people are about to be overrun by the Assyrian army. And those Assyrians, they are pretty bad dudes. What they do to the people they conquer, you don't even want to know. Horrible, horrible things. Think of all the atrocities that we've heard coming out of Ukraine. Multiply that by 10. I mean, that's how bad it gets with those Assyrians. And so it's no wonder that a certain king named Ahaz, who he's by no means stupid. He's a pretty smart guy. He's looking to make an alliance with Assyria. Why? Why would he want to do that? Well, he wants to make this alliance so that he can push off pressure he's getting from the north, Israel, and the alliance that Israel had made with Syria to the north. Okay, there's a little bit of difference, Assyria and Syria. So it's a hotly contested time politically, in warfare, in this whole region. It's a real mess. So what does that have to do with the prophet Isaiah? Isaiah comes along and says, hey, I have a word from God. Just trust me. Stop putting your trust in these foreigners, these other foreign empires. They're to come back to bite you. Ahaz, as we saw in our lesson in church last Sunday from Isaiah, Ahaz doesn't want to hear it. Isaiah says, look, ask the Lord for a sign. He'll give you a sign. I don't want any sign. I'm not going to tempt the Lord, as if he's being ultra-religious. Nah, he wasn't. He just doesn't want to hear it. So that's when Isaiah says, well, the Lord himself will give you a sign. And he goes on to talk about a young woman will bear a child, and his name will be Emmanuel. Remember that text? That's another favorite that we often have. But this one follows after that, and it's a poem of victory. Like, hey, we've gotten through the tough times. It wasn't Ahaz that got them through the tough times. No, that just didn't happen. And in fact, there's some question as to whether it really did happen in the lifetime of those people. There's some indications that this could have been pointing toward the new king who would come along, Hezekiah, who is given praise by both those who wrote the books of Kings and also the Chronicles. There's evidence in all that stuff that he did end up being a pretty good king and brought about a time of peace for the people. Is that who they're talking about? Quite possibly, back in this context. But we know that things fell apart shortly after that, after his reign. So what happens? We still have these texts in front of us promising good times, times of peace, times of justice. And along comes Jesus. Along comes Jesus. And we see in Jesus the fulfillment of all these things, not in the political sense that perhaps the people were envisioning and hoping for, but in the cosmic, eternal sense. Ah, yes, in all these titles, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, they all fit the picture of Jesus, the Jesus who brings us life, hope, love, forgiveness, peace, salvation. All these things belong to us. And so this makes it a perfect Christmas passage to read. And it is a passage that's assigned for Christmas Day if your worship happens to fall on that day. And it's one of three that we could be doing. All of them coming from the prophet Isaiah. Yeah. So there's a lot of good stuff here. And that's why it's my favorite, especially the first part. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Don't we all have those moments when we are totally blinded to the truth around us, blinded to what's happening because we're walking in darkness? Darkness of our souls, darkness of seeing no hope in front of us. And then the light shines. The light shines. On them, light has shined. On us, light has shined. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is keep drinking my cup of coffee here. Right now, it is nice out here. It is cool. It's in the 20s. Just a very, very slight little breeze. Nothing like what's coming tomorrow when the temperature's going to bottom out. There'll be wind chills, minus 20 to minus 30, 60 to 70 mile wind gusts, and lots of snow. Bundle up, Western New York. It's coming. Bundle up wherever you are, because so many of us are going to be in the deep freeze. God's blessings be with you, and let his light shine in your life.